Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And normally, with the start of a new month, the first thing I'd cover is the new Gunpla schedule. But we have one more important thing to cover before that. On the 27th, the Gundam channel released the first 10 minutes of Cucuruz Doan's Island for everyone to see. Everyone, of course, being the Japanese people and the people pretending to be Japanese with NordVPN. And if you use my link down below, not only will you be getting a sweet discount, but you'll also be supporting the channel. And the link to that video will, of course, be down below. And my first impression of those first 10 minutes was definitely overwhelmingly positive. The animation is super smooth with a lot of attention to detail. The sounds are amazing and really lifelike. And even though not a lot really happens in those 10 minutes, they still just flew by. Up until now, I've been carefully optimistic, but now I'm definitely hyped to see the whole thing. So I hope we'll get some information on an English release soon, which is what we did get for The Witch from Mercury. Also, on May the 27th, the English trailer was released, which was mostly the same as the Japanese trailer that we already got, with the exception of the ending. Here they announced that they're planning to simulcast the series outside of Japan, which is going to be airing at 5 p.m. Japanese time every Sunday starting October 2022. And then, since we're on the topic of trailers, on June the 1st, the region-locked trailer for the 4th Reconguista NG movie was released, linked down below, and the key visual was also shown off. But now, on to this month's Gunpla, and the quote-unquote big release is going to be the high-grade Sieg rune from the Iron-Blooded Orphans G mobile game on the 18th. And for 1,760 Yen, 14 US, you'll get this nice-looking machine, the Valkyrie Rapier, the Valkyrie Round Shield, and various hands. And then on the 25th, 660 Yen, 5 US will get you the SDW Heroes Sasuke Gundam Delta Kai with its multiple shuriken, or 550 Yen, 4 US will get you the SDW Heroes War Horse Knight World version. Just open up the back and your SD Gundams can get a ride on it. Then, moving on to the Gundam Game Fest, which was a bit of a mixed bag, something that was definitely reflected by the like to dislike ratio. Now, 77% might sound good if you get it on a test, but on a YouTube video, basically anything under 90% likes means that something went quite wrong. And the first thing that I noticed with the English version was the narration. The Japanese version was narrated by Amuro Ray's voice actor, which is amazing, and some bits were done by Maru Ramius' voice actress. But then, in the English version, we did get someone who did a good enough job, but the problem was that the script felt kinda like it was machine translated of the Japanese script.
Hit combo with various weapons. Develop new unit with the capitals and blueprints you obtain in the field.
But other than that, we did start out strong with some cool information on SD Gundam Battle Alliance. The game will be releasing on August the 25th, which is pretty damn soon already. And perhaps even more surprising, the game will be releasing on Steam and all current consoles, including Xbox, making it one of the few Gundam games Xbox fans will have access to, and definitely one of the only 2 modern games that they'll have access to on Xbox. And it's also coming out in a variety of languages: English, Japanese, French, German, Italian, Spanish, neutral Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Korean, and Thai. Then, in the actual game itself, you'll get to assemble and upgrade your own little squadron that you can then use to tackle the story mode. And in a way, it kind of sounds like the exact opposite of Cross Race. In Cross Race, you could trigger these non-canonical events to happen, whereas in Battle Alliance, you're part of a team that's fighting against the non-canonical changes and you try to rectify them, with your final goal being figuring out why these history-changing events are taking place. So basically, it's Gundam Time Squad. And because your squadron consists of 3 machines, you can also play co-op with 2 friends. Then they also touched on the gameplay a little bit, but they didn't get into it too much. You can do combos, and you can also pull off special attacks. Then, if you want the game, pre-orders opened on May the 27th, and they did something that I really like with the pre-orders. Instead of giving you things that you can only get by pre-ordering, they instead give you access to 4 mobile suits from the beginning of the game that you would otherwise have to unlock much later in the game. These 4 machines being the Knight Gundam, Liu Bei Unicorn Gundam, Cao Cao Wing Gundam, and Sun Zhuang Gundam Astray. You'll also get some in-game currency and parts, and if you get the digital version, you'll also get the Musha Gundam from the beginning. Again, something that you can otherwise unlock later on in the game. So, in a climate where gaming companies are desperately trying to get you to pre-order their games, credit where credit is due, Bamco. This is definitely a very nice middle ground, and one that I very much approve of. Outside of the presentation, then, we also got word of a Digital Deluxe and Ultimate Edition, although these have not yet appeared in our storefronts. The Digital Deluxe Edition contains the Season Pass, which consists of a total of 6 extra missions and 7 extra units, and the Digital Ultimate Edition will also contain the Season Pass and then the Premium Sound and Data Pack, which is their way of saying soundtracks from the anime. Over in Japan then, there's also going to be a physical collector's edition for the PlayStation 4, 5 and the Switch, but unless this also becomes available in the West, we're going to have a very difficult time getting a hold of it. Or maybe I should say it's going to be very expensive to get a hold of it, because it already goes for 19,140 yen, 150 US, and it is only available through a lottery sale. So even for the people who want to buy it, they're not even sure if they're gonna get it. And then inside of it, you'll get the Ultimate Edition with 3 limited edition Gunpla: the Musha Gundam, Knight Gundam, and Command Gundam, all as the versions. And then after Gundam Battle Alliance, the Gundam Game Fest is just a lot of video for not a lot of new stuff. For Gundam Evolution, they announced the console network test, which will be held from June the 23rd until June the 28th, and is available for the United States, Canada, and Japan, and applications are being held in 2 rounds. The first one started on May the 26th and is held until June the 12th, and the second one is then held from June the 12th until the 25th. And then after this, they just explained the 3 game modes and shortly went on about the customization. Which begs the question, did they forget that this stream was for news and reveals? But after this, they moved on to Gundam Battle Operation 2 news. There's a new map called Supply Depot, and they added the Delta Plus. And that's it. Not bad, but also not really a whole lot, and probably also not what most people expected them to talk about when it came to GBO2. Now, like I said last week, Bandai did announce that they weren't going to be talking about the Steam test, but just because you choose to ignore a problem doesn't mean it doesn't exist anymore. And then the video ends with the announcer saying, here are some new titles. Plural. After which they only show 1, Gundam G Generation Eternal. But granted, it does look pretty good for a mobile game. The animations look nice, and the roster also promises to be really big. Not only are we getting machines from all of the anime, but also games, manga, and even novels. And some cool machines that I spotted are the Crossbone Gundam, the Blue Destiny, the F90, the Kempfer Prototype, which also somewhat gives me hope that École du Ciel will be in here, and the Hazel Gundam. Nice. A release date is yet to be decided, but they did announce that a closed beta test will be held, so more information should be coming our way soon-ish. And that was it for the Gundam Game Fest, so let me know down below what you thought about it. Was it as bad as the like to dislike ratio would lead you to believe, or were you overall still pretty happy with the things that they announced? And talking about news that's a mixed bag, Japan will be opening up to tourists again from many countries on June the 10th. The only big caveat being you're only allowed to go on package guided tours, which, I mean, I saw some of those for Japan a couple of years ago, and let's just say that it's still going to be a bit longer before we can go on our Gundam pilgrimage to the Holy Land. On to the Gunpla news then. On Tuesday, reservations started for the Gundam F90 Mission Pack H-Type. For 1,870 yen, 14 US, you'll get 2 large 4-tube missile launchers, a double grenade unit, a short-barreled beam pistol, hover units, a small shield, and water slide decals. The pack is scheduled for a September release, and of course, the F91 is sold separately. But it will be getting a restock also in September, along with the F90 Mars Zeong colors, the F90 Unit 2, the F90-2 I-Type, and the following mission packs on screen. Or, if you prefer your F90 to be see-through, then the Gundam base has you covered. On the 11th, they'll be releasing the Master Grade Gundam Base Limited F90 Clear Color version for 4,400 yen, 34 US. And alongside it, they'll also be releasing the Master Grade Gundam Base Limited Expansion Set for Gundam Barbatos Clear Color version for 3,410 yen, 27 US. And keep in mind, just like the mission packs of the Gundam F90, the main Gundam is not included here. You'll have to supply your own, one way or another. And then to wrap up the Gunpla news, Mega House has released actual images of the 1/144th scale Archangel bridge, as well as all remaining relevant information. It'll set you back 13,200 yen, 100 US. It is slated for an October release, and pre-orders will start on June the 3rd. I'll have the official page linked down below. For the figure news then, on May the 27th, P Bandai started accepting reservations for the FW Gundam Converge Core Perfect Gundam and Perfect Zeong set. As the name indicates, for 5,390 yen, 42 US, you'll be able to get a Perfect Gundam and Perfect Zeong that can also be displayed as a regular Zeong. And both of them will have some nice touches from the Plamo Kyoshiro manga. The Perfect Gundam shield has the Kyoshiro emblem and also comes with a different head with smiling eyes, and the Perfect Zeong comes with the large sword and has a Saki Takeda emblem. And the set is currently scheduled for an October release. Then next up, it seems that I wasn't the only one who thought that the Sound Warrior Gundam Premium was a cute idea, with the initial run of pre-orders running out fast enough to warrant a second wave of pre-orders. And this then makes for a perfect segue to the Gundam music segment. On May the 28th, it was announced that for the tribute album Crysta-Rythm, Hikaru Midorikawa will be covering White Reflection. On the 31st, the Order Hunt theme song The Over has become available worldwide, link to it down below. And on June the 1st, Hiroko Moriguchi's single Ubigoe was released. And then we still have some more Gundam gaming news to go over. On May the 31st, it was announced that the Iron-Blooded Orphans G app will be getting short side story anime episodes. The shorts will be about the daily lives of the characters, and you can check out the trailer down below if you have NordVPN, because of course it's region locked. And there is still one more bit of bad news for the Iron-Blooded Orphans G app, and that is that it has once again been delayed. And it's now just a general 2022 release. I guess I should add that for now, it has become a 2022 release. Then, one day later, the Testament Gundam became available on Gundam Breaker Mobile, and UC Engage also got some new stuff. The first new type story event was added, and by playing through it, you can get the ultra rare Gym 3 powered full armor and ultra rare Ubaldo Marina, and there's also an event gacha featuring the ultra rare Moon Gundam and ultra rare Yuta Kashim. In other news then, on the 26th, a new illustration of Dragon Knight titled New Friends was released, and Gundam will appear at Bamco's stand at the Licensing Expo 2022 in Las Vegas. Then on May the 30th, the concept of the Gundam Pavilion at the 2025 World Expo was announced. And basically, it's the same core principles that Bandai and Gundam have been pushing for like the past year or so. They want to build a future together with the fans, symbolized by their fun for all into the future statement, and they want Gundam to play an active role in solving societal problems. Something they have at the moment been doing with their recycling efforts that so far have been going pretty damn well. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see which new things they're going to be introducing at this pavilion. Moving on to the things we could buy this week then. On the 28th, you could buy the Robot Spirits Ground Gym for 7,150 yen, 55 US, along with its huge amount of accessories. And if that still wasn't enough, on the same day, you could also get the Robot Spirits 08th MS Team optional part set 2, which comes with a DOP, hover truck, minifigures, and more for 4,950 yen, 40 US. And then also on the 28th, you could get the SDW Heroes Goku Impulse Gundam DX set Dark version from the Gundam base. And purely going by the promotional images, that is definitely a deluxe looking model kit with that glossy injection molding. As for this week's reading material then, there was the Big Comic Superior in which Gundam Thunderbolt is serialized, and now also has a very interesting looking Thunderbolt cover. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but it looks like the Gundam is towing a Brabro. Moving on, we had the Zeong Soldier Resident Pia book, the June 14th issue of Flash magazine, which had an interview with Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. There is another interview with him in the J-Movie magazine. There's 2 interviews with Yoshiyuki Tomino available on Animage Plus, which I'll have linked down below. Then today you could get the Char Custom PC and Tablet Stand book, which comes with a Char Custom stand for laptops and tablets. It can fold up and even comes with a nifty carrying bag. If you want one, it'll set you back 2,310 yen, a little under 20 US, and they do offer international shipping, so I'll again have that linked down below. And then finally, tomorrow, there's the special Cucuruz Doan's Island issue from the Sports Hochi newspaper, which contains various interviews and a large poster. And then, this week again, we don't have any Gundam apparel news. Like, I'm now completely expecting next week to be filled to the brim with Gundam apparel, just to make up for that drought that we've been experiencing for the past 2 weeks. So that means that we're already wrapping up this week's Gundam news with what I believe to be one of the most pointless polls I've seen on Gundam.info. With the introduction of the Sound Warrior Gundam Premium, they now want to know which other mobile suit we would like to see represented in this line. And the machines they picked here are pretty baffling. The Zaku 2, the Elmeth, the Zanuck, and the Wing Gundam Zero. Gee, I wonder which one of these 4 would be the most popular by a long shot. Of course, it is the Wing Gundam Zero with a whopping 195 votes, followed by the Zanuck with 67 votes, the Zaku 2 with 66, and the Elmuth with 65. And what definitely surprised me is how well the Zanuck is doing. Like, do most people watching this even know what the Zanuck is? And I'll be honest here, I had to look it up too because it has been quite a while since I've watched Victory Gundam. But yeah, they definitely could have picked some better options like the Goof, Sharzaku, the God Gundam. You get the point. But still, if you want to let your voice be heard, the link to vote is down below. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.